What if I told you the loudest person in the room isn't the strongest, but often the most insecure? That the ones who truly change the world don't need to announce it, post it, or shout it from rooftops, because they're too busy becoming it. You see, success isn't just built in public, it's shaped in silence. Behind every unstoppable person is a series of quiet, disciplined habits that no one sees. Habits practiced in private, when no one's watching, no one's cheering, and no one's clapping. This isn't just another motivational speech. This is a mirror held up to your potential, your patterns, and your power. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right but still stuck, if you've ever wondered why your progress feels slower than your passion, this message is for you. Because the truth is, it's not the loud habits that make you unstoppable, it's the quiet ones. So listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. Because what you're about to hear could be the difference between living a life of distraction and living a life of destiny. Let's dive in. In a world addicted to noise, movement, and endless stimulation, stillness is not just rare, it's revolutionary. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to hustle harder, post more, speak louder, and always stay busy. But the truth is, motion without direction is chaos, and noise without clarity is confusion. The people who are truly unstoppable are not the loudest or the most visible. They are the ones who have learned how to be still, intentionally, powerfully. Stillness is not about doing nothing, it's about listening to everything that matters. It's the space where your thoughts can breathe, where your emotions can settle, and where your vision can finally come into focus. Most people live reactively. They move fast but without awareness. They chase goals but never pause to question whether those goals are even theirs. But those who practice stillness have learned that silence is where you hear your intuition. It's where you reconnect with your purpose. And it's where you develop the calm confidence that others mistake for unshakable strength. Stillness is a weapon because it gives you the upper hand in a world full of noise. When you're still, you're not swayed by panic, peer pressure, or popularity. You make decisions with clarity, not desperation. You respond with wisdom, not impulse. You don't jump into battles that aren't yours, and you don't waste your energy proving your worth to people who don't even know their own. There's a reason the strongest warriors meditate before they fight. There's a reason the most powerful leaders carve out silence in the middle of chaos. Because true strength comes from within. And you can't access it if you're constantly distracted. If you can't sit with your own thoughts, you'll never have the clarity to lead others. If you can't be still, you'll always be at the mercy of noise. Stillness helps you see what others miss. While everyone else is rushing, posting, and reacting, you're observing, aligning, and preparing. You're moving with precision. You're building something that lasts. And that's what makes you unstoppable. So don't let the world trick you into thinking that stillness is weakness. It's not laziness. It's not passivity. It's discipline. It's control. It's the quiet sharpening of your inner sword. Every minute you spend in focused silence is a moment of sharpening your awareness, aligning with your mission, and separating yourself from the masses. The world is loud. Let it be. You don't need to compete with the noise. You just need to learn how to stand still in the storm. Because when you can master stillness, you can master anything. There's a hidden power available to anyone who chooses to rise before the world wakes up. Early mornings aren't just about being ahead of the clock. They're about being ahead in mindset, discipline, and intention. In those early hours when the world is quiet and distractions haven't yet begun, you are gifted a window of uninterrupted clarity that most people never take advantage of. Waking up early is a declaration. It says, I refuse to live on defense. Most people start their day reacting to emails, to social media, to noise. But those who rise early start on offense. They don't begin their day in chaos, they begin it in control. Whether it's with prayer, journaling, planning, reading, or simply sitting in silence, those early hours create a mental and emotional rhythm that sets the tone for everything that follows. This habit is quiet. No one sees it. No one applauds you for getting up when it's still dark. But those moments of quiet discipline build unstoppable momentum. You're not just gaining hours, you're gaining focus. You're gaining confidence. You're building a mindset that refuses to be distracted or rushed by the noise of the day. There's also something deeply spiritual about early mornings. It's a sacred time. When the world is still asleep, your mind is clear and open. Your heart is more honest. It's in those moments that some of the best ideas are born, some of the deepest self-reflection happens, and some of the strongest personal growth takes root. People often ask what separates the average from the exceptional. It's not always talent, it's not always opportunity. More often, it's habits. And among them, rising early is one of the most transformative. It requires self-retreat the night before and commitment in the moment. But over time, it reshapes how you show up in every area of life. If you want to become unstoppable, don't just wake up early. Own your mornings. Protect them. Make them meaningful. Because how you start your day determines how you end it. And when you learn to lead your mornings, you learn to lead your life. One of the quietest yet most powerful habits of unstoppable people is their ability to observe rather than react. In a fast-paced world that often rewards quick responses and emotional outbursts, choosing to pause, watch, and understand before reacting is a sign of true strength and maturity. When you react impulsively, you hand over control of your emotions and decisions to external circumstances. But when you observe, you take back that power. Observation allows you to see beyond the surface. It helps you recognize patterns, motivations, and consequences that others miss because they are too busy reacting. It creates space between stimulus and response, a space where wisdom grows. This pause is where you can decide what action serves your highest purpose. Instead of being driven by momentary feelings like anger, fear, or frustration. When you master observation, you become like a calm lake, reflecting everything clearly without distortion. Others may be caught in the storm of emotions, but you stay grounded, thinking through your choices carefully. This habit allows you to respond with intentionality rather than reflexively, which builds your credibility and influence over time. Emotional intelligence plays a huge role here. Those who observe are better at managing their emotions and understanding the emotions of others. This skill not only improves relationships, but also helps in navigating difficult situations with grace. Instead of escalating conflict, you diffuse it. Instead of getting distracted by drama, you stay focused on what truly matters. Learning to observe rather than react is not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's a process of self-awareness and discipline that rewires your brain to think first and act second. This shift transforms how you interact with the world, making you more patient, strategic, and resilient. When you choose observation over reaction, you stop being a passenger in your life and start being the driver. You reclaim your power to make decisions aligned with your vision and values. This habit may seem quiet and simple, but its impact is profound. It's one of the silent forces behind every unstoppable person who remains calm in chaos, focused in distraction, and steady in uncertainty. One of the most powerful yet often misunderstood habits of unstoppable people is their commitment to consistency rather than intensity. Many believe that success comes from sudden bursts of extreme effort or momentary inspiration. But the truth is that lasting progress and unstoppable momentum are built through steady, reliable actions repeated day after day. Consistency is the quiet, persistent engine that drives transformation over time, far more than occasional intense effort ever could. When you choose consistency over intensity, you create a sustainable rhythm for growth. It's not about working yourself to exhaustion one day and then burning out the next. It's about showing up, doing the work, and maintaining discipline even when motivation wanes or results seem slow. This habit builds resilience because it trains your mind and body to keep going, regardless of external circumstances. Over time, these small, regular actions accumulate into massive achievements. Consistency also builds trust with yourself and others. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, you reinforce your self-confidence and reliability. This strengthens your mental fortitude and creates a foundation of integrity that others notice and respect. People who are consistent become unstoppable because they are dependable in their effort, vision, and progress. On the other hand, intensity without consistency often leads to burnout and disappointment. The cycle of pushing too hard and then quitting is draining and discouraging. It can make success feel like a fleeting dream rather than an achievable reality. But consistency turns progress into a habit and habits into a lifestyle. It transforms small actions into big results, creating unstoppable momentum that carries you forward. This habit also allows for adjustment and improvement. When you practice consistency, you create opportunities to learn from your experiences and refine your approach. It's in these steady, repeated efforts that you discover what works best and build mastery. Unlike intense, sporadic bursts, consistency keeps you in the game long enough to grow, adapt, and succeed. Ultimately, consistency over intensity is the quiet discipline that underpins unstoppable success. It's the difference between fleeting effort and lifelong achievement, between chasing quick fixes and building lasting greatness. If you want to become unstoppable, commit to showing up every day, no matter what, and watch how the power of consistency changes everything. In a world that is constantly connected, where notifications buzz every few minutes and people are always reaching out for attention, embracing solitude has become increasingly rare, and yet it remains one of the most powerful habits for anyone who wants to become truly unstoppable. Solitude is not about being lonely or isolated. Rather, it is the intentional act of setting aside time to be alone with your thoughts, free from external distractions, noise, and the influence of others. This quiet and often overlooked habit is where some of the deepest personal growth, self-reflection, and clarity occur. When you embrace solitude, you create space to connect with your inner self on a level that is difficult to achieve in the constant chaos of everyday life. It allows you to separate from the external pressures and opinions that can cloud your judgment or pull you off course. In these moments alone, without any distractions, you can begin to understand who you truly are, your deepest desires, your fears, your strengths, and your weaknesses. This self-awareness is crucial because it forms the foundation upon which all growth is built. Without it, you risk living reactively, responding to what's happening around you instead of consciously choosing your path. Solitude is also a sacred time for mental and emotional clarity. When your mind isn't bombarded by external input, you're able to sort through thoughts, feelings, and ideas in a calm and organized way. This helps you identify what really matters and filter out the noise. Many unstoppable people credit their most profound insights, creative breakthroughs, and solutions to problems to moments spent alone in deep thought or quiet contemplation. In solitude, the mind is free to explore, to innovate, and to dream without limitations. Beyond mental clarity, solitude plays a significant role in emotional resilience. It teaches you how to be comfortable with your own company, how to find peace within yourself without constantly seeking validation or distraction from others. This internal stability is a source of great strength because it makes you less vulnerable to external turmoil or negative influences. When you are able to enjoy solitude, you become independent emotionally, confident in your own worth and choices. This independence is vital to becoming unstoppable because it allows you to stay grounded even when the world around you is unpredictable or challenging. Another powerful aspect of solitude is that it gives you uninterrupted time to focus deeply on your goals and priorities. In solitude, you can plan your next steps, visualize success, and strategize without being pulled in multiple directions. This focused attention accelerates progress because your energy is fully aligned with your purpose. Unlike multitasking or trying to squeeze planning into busy moments, solitude creates an environment where you can be fully present and intentional. Moreover, solitude is essential for recharging your energy. Living in a hyper-connected world often leads to mental fatigue and burnout because you're constantly on, responding to messages, social media, work demands, and social obligations. Taking time alone helps you step back, breathe, and replenish your mental, emotional, and spiritual batteries. It's a form of self-care that ensures you can show up with your best energy for your work and relationship. Embracing solitude doesn't mean withdrawing from the world or rejecting social connections. Rather, it is about balancing your outer engagement with inner stillness. It's about knowing when to turn down the noise, step away from distractions, and create moments to listen deeply to yourself. This balance is what allows you to engage with the world from a place of strength, purpose, and clarity instead of exhaustion or confusion. For those who aspire to be unstoppable, making solitude a regular practice is transformative. It creates fertile ground for personal growth, creativity, and emotional strength. It sharpens your mind, steadies your emotions, and fuels your motivation. In the quiet of solitude, you build an unshakable foundation that empowers you to face challenges with calm confidence and unstoppable momentum. Ultimately, solitude is a habit that honors your inner world. By embracing it, you gain access to a deeper level of understanding, peace, and power. It's one of the silent, unseen forces behind the success of those who move forward with relentless focus and resilience, no matter what life throws their way. When you learn to embrace and cherish solitude, you unlock a wellspring of strength that nothing external can ever take away. One of the most important habits that unstoppable people cultivate is a growth mindset, a way of thinking that embraces challenges, sees failure as a stepping stone, and constantly seeks improvement. Unlike a fixed mindset, which believes that talents and intelligence are static and unchangeable, a growth mindset understands that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. This mindset is a quiet but powerful driver of unstoppable progress because it changes how you respond to obstacles and setbacks. When you cultivate a growth mindset, you begin to view difficulties not as dead ends, but as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Every failure, mistake, or criticism becomes valuable feedback that guides you toward improvement rather than a reason to quit. This perspective is crucial because the path to success is rarely smooth or easy. It is filled with obstacles that test your resilience. The difference between those who give up and those who become unstoppable is often this mindset. People with a growth mindset stay committed to their goals, even when the going gets tough, because they believe their efforts will lead to progress. And having a growth mindset also fuels a love of learning. Unstoppable people are always seeking new knowledge, skills, and experiences that help them become better versions of themselves. They understand that growth is a lifelong journey, and they are willing to invest the time and energy necessary to evolve. This openness to learning keeps them adaptable and prepared for whatever changes or challenges life throws their way. Furthermore, cultivating a growth mindset helps you overcome fear of failure and rejection. When you see failure as part of the process instead of something to avoid at all costs, you become more willing to take risks and step outside your comfort zone. This willingness is essential because growth and success rarely happen without some degree of uncertainty and challenge. A growth mindset encourages you to embrace the unknown, take calculated risks, and keep moving forward despite setback. This mindset also fosters patience and persistence. Growth rarely happens overnight. By believing that steady effort leads to improvement, you develop the patience to stay consistent over time, and the persistence to keep pushing even when results aren't immediate. This combination of patience and perseverance creates unstoppable momentum. Ultimately, cultivating a growth mindset transforms how you approach life, challenges, and your own potential. It quiets the inner critic and replaces doubt with curiosity and determination. This mindset opens doors to new possibilities and empowers you to keep growing, evolving, and becoming unstoppable no matter what obstacles arise. It is one of the foundational habits that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Many people underestimate the power of rest and recovery when it comes to becoming unstoppable. In a culture that often glorifies constant hustle and non-stop work, it's easy to believe that pushing harder and longer is the key to success. But the truth is, without proper rest and recovery, your mind and body can't perform at their best. Prioritizing rest is a quiet but essential habit that fuels sustainable progress and keeps you moving forward with energy and focus. Rest is not just about sleep, although quality sleep is crucial. It also includes taking breaks during the day, allowing your mind to reset, and engaging in activities that recharge your emotional and physical energy. When you prioritize rest, you prevent burnout and reduce stress, which can otherwise drain your motivation and creativity. This habit creates balance in your life, enabling you to maintain consistent effort over the long term rather than burning out from intense but unsustainable work. Recovery time allows your brain to process information, consolidate learning, and strengthen memory. It's during rest that your body heals and your energy stores are replenished. This means that when you return to your work or goals, you do so with renewed focus, sharper thinking, and greater resilience. Without this crucial recovery period, mistakes increase, decision-making suffers, and progress slows. Unstoppable people understand that rest is part of their strategy, not a sign of weakness. They know when to push forward and when to step back, creating a rhythm that maximizes productivity and well-being. By listening to your body and mind's signals, you avoid burnout and keep your motivation sustained over time. In addition, prioritizing rest helps you maintain emotional balance. Stress and fatigue can cloud your judgment and lead to frustration or discouragement. Taking time to recover emotionally allows you to stay calm, positive, and clear-headed, which is essential when facing challenges. In essence, rest and recovery are the quiet fuels of unstoppable momentum. They allow you to perform consistently at your best, maintain mental clarity, and sustain the energy needed to achieve your goals. Embracing this habit helps you work smarter, not just harder, and ultimately become unstoppable in your journey. Mindset is the steering wheel of your life. It determines where you're going, how far you'll go, and whether you'll ever arrive. Every decision, every reaction, every response you make starts in the mind. If your thoughts are small, your life will be small. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, you'll always find a reason to quit. But if your thoughts are grounded in vision, in strength, and in belief, you'll find a reason to fight, to rise, and to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. You cannot have a transformed life with an unchanged mind. That's why so many people work hard but get nowhere. They're trying to build a new life with an old mindset, and it doesn't work. You can't step into a bigger future while holding on to limiting thoughts. You can't become successful if your thinking still serves your survival, not your growth. It's like trying to pour new wine into an old wineskin. It bursts under the pressure of expansion. Every day, your mind is either your greatest asset or your biggest liability. It can push you forward or hold you back. That's why improving it isn't optional, it's essential. You must feed it with wisdom, truth, and new perspectives. You must challenge the lies you've believed for too long, like, I'm not good enough, it's too late, I don't have what it takes. Those thoughts aren't facts. They're fear disguised as logic, and fear is a liar. When you start training your mind like you train your body, you'll begin to see results in your life. You'll notice more peace, more clarity, more bold decisions. But it takes effort. It takes consistency. It takes a commitment to growth over comfort. You have to make time to reflect, to read, to learn, to journal, to question your old ways of thinking, because a mind that's never questioned itself will always recycle the same results. Your mindset shapes your expectations, and your expectations shape your reality. If you believe every day is an opportunity, you'll show up differently than someone who believes life is out to get them. If you believe you were created for something greater, you'll stop settling for anything less. But if your mindset is stuck in defeat, you'll talk yourself out of blessings before they ever reach you. The most successful people in the world don't just have skills, they have winning mindsets. They see obstacles as training grounds, failure as feedback, and discomfort as a sign of growth. You must adopt that same lens. Rewire how you interpret challenges. Stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift alone can open doors that fear kept locked. So every day, make it your mission to improve your mindset. Because when your mind is strong, focused, and aligned, your entire life starts to rise with it. Character is the invisible force that determines the quality and longevity of your success. You can be talented, skilled, and brilliant, but if your character is weak, everything you've built will eventually collapse. Because while gifts can open doors, it is character that keeps you in the room. It's not about how impressive you look on the outside. It's about who you are when no one is watching. The silent choices, the honest moments, the discipline when no one is checking. That's character. In a world obsessed with image, it's easy to focus on how things appear rather than how things truly are. But image fades. Talent can be duplicated. Skill can be taught. Character must be built, and it's built in the hidden places, in the quiet decisions, in the uncomfortable choices between what's easy and what's right. That's why improving your character daily is not just wise, it's necessary. When your character is strong, you become trustworthy. People follow you not just because you're capable, but because you're consistent. Because they know your word means something. They know you won't cut corners, shift blame, or chase shortcuts. In a world full of fast talkers and smooth charm, people are starving for the real thing, authenticity. And nothing builds authentic impact like strong character. Character means keeping your values intact even when compromise would be more convenient. It means showing kindness when cruelty would feel justified. It means choosing patience when anger is boiling. It means doing what's right even when there's no applause, no recognition, and no reward, except the quiet satisfaction of knowing you stayed true to who you are. But here's the truth. Character isn't static. It's either improving or it's decaying. That's why you must tend to it daily like a garden. Pull out the weeds of pride, dishonesty, and selfishness. Water the seeds of integrity, humility, and discipline. Reflect on your actions. Examine your motives. Apologize when you've missed the mark. Forgive when you've been wronged. Every small step in character improvement is a giant leap in personal growth. And don't mistake quiet character for weakness. It's actually the deepest strength. It's what holds you together when life tries to tear you apart. It's what keeps you humble when you succeed and hopeful when you fail. It's the foundation for every meaningful relationship, every true leadership role, every lasting legacy. Without character, success is hollow. With it, even small victories become significant. So every day, work on who you are becoming, not just what you are achieving. Because at the end of the day, your legacy won't be built on your accomplishments alone. It will be built on the kind of person you chose to be, day after day, choice after choice. That's character, and it's worth improving every single day. Discipline is the silent architect behind every great life. It's the invisible structure that holds your dreams upright when the storms of distraction, laziness, and comfort come crashing in. Without discipline, even the most brilliant vision becomes a forgotten idea. Even the most gifted person ends up stuck. Because talent without discipline leads to inconsistency, and inconsistency leads to failure. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about choosing the future you want over the feeling you have in the moment. The world constantly invites you to take the easy road. Skip the workout, hit snooze, binge distractions, put things off, say, "I'll do it tomorrow." But discipline says, "I'm doing it anyway, because this is who I'm becoming." Every day you are shaping your future by what you choose to do when no one is forcing you. That's why improving your discipline isn't just a nice idea, it's a life-changing habit. It's the difference between talking about your goals and living them. It's waking up when your body wants to sleep. It's saying no when temptation screams yes. It's pushing through discomfort because you know growth never happens in the comfort zone. Discipline doesn't care how motivated you are. It kicks in when motivation runs out. It trains you to move even when emotions don't agree. And that's where your power is found. Not in the days when everything feels easy, but in the moments when everything feels hard and you show up anyway. Those are the moments that define who you are. Those are the days when greatness is quietly being forged. Think about any area of your life that's struggling. Your health, your finances, your relationships, your goals. At the root, there's likely a discipline issue. The good news? That means it can change. It means you don't need permission, you just need a decision. Decide to take control of your time. Decide to set boundaries with your energy. Decide to be intentional with your habits. That's how transformation begins, one disciplined choice at a time. Improving your discipline means becoming a better leader of yourself. And when you lead yourself well, everything else begins to follow. People will notice your focus. They'll feel your presence. They'll respect your priorities. But most importantly, you will begin to trust yourself. And that's a powerful thing, to know that when you set a goal, you will show up for it. To believe in your own consistency, to become the kind of person who doesn't just hope for better, but creates better. So don't wait for discipline to appear. Build it, train it, protect it, and improve it every single day, because when discipline becomes your lifestyle, excellence becomes your standard, and success becomes your habit. Your ability to communicate is one of the most powerful tools you have. It's not just about talking, it's about connecting, influencing, inspiring, and leading. Every word you speak either builds a bridge or builds a wall. Every conversation has the potential to heal or to harm. That's why improving your communication daily isn't just important, it's vital to your personal growth, your relationships, and your success. People don't just respond to what you say, they respond to how you say it. Your tone, your timing, your body language, your facial expressions, they all speak before your words ever do. A powerful message delivered poorly loses its impact, but a simple truth delivered with clarity and emotion can change someone's life. That's the art of communication, learning not just to speak, but to speak with purpose and precision. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You just need to be the most intentional. You need to listen more than you speak. Understand before you respond. Communicate with clarity, not confusion. When you learn how to communicate clearly, you begin to stand out in a world full of noise. While others are just talking, you're making people feel understood. While others are reacting, you're responding with wisdom. Improving your communication means taking responsibility for your message. It means making sure your words align with your character. It means refusing to let anger or ego control your mouth. It means asking, how can I say this in a way that builds, not breaks? Because words are powerful, they create atmospheres. One sentence can encourage someone to keep going, while another can destroy someone's confidence. Choose your words wisely. Sharpen your message daily. The way you communicate also reflects the way you think. If your thoughts are chaotic, your words will be too. If your heart is full of bitterness, it will leak into your language. But if your mind is clear and your intentions are pure, your communication will reflect peace, purpose, and strength. That's why inner growth always leads to better outer communication. You can't fake what you haven't worked on. Great communicators aren't born, they're developed. They study how to be understood. They read, they write, they listen, they observe. They practice saying more with less. They learn how to pause. They ask questions that open hearts instead of closing doors. They don't speak to impress, they speak to impact. And every day, they strive to do it better. Whether you're talking to your family, your team, your audience, or even yourself, your words matter. So start refining them. Start practicing presence when you speak. Start watching how your words affect the room. Because when your communication improves, everything around you begins to improve too. Your relationships, your opportunities, your influence, and your legacy. So speak with purpose, listen with intention, and never stop improving your communication, because your voice is one of your greatest gifts. Your relationships are shaping you more than you realize. Who you walk with determines how far you go, how strong you stand, and how clearly you see. Every connection you maintain is either watering your purpose or draining your potential. That's why improving your relationships daily is not just about being kind or friendly. It's about protecting your destiny. No one succeeds alone. Behind every fulfilled life is a foundation of strong, intentional relationships. People who challenge you, sharpen you, uplift you, and call you higher. And on the other side, no one fails alone either. Unhealthy relationships have crushed more dreams than failure ever did. The wrong voices in your life can plant seeds of doubt, fear, complacency, and bitterness. So if you want to grow, you must first examine who's growing around you and who's growing with you. Improving your relationships starts with being honest about them. Not all connections are meant to last forever. Some people were only assigned to a season, not your lifetime. But we hold on out of comfort, out of habit, out of guilt. And before we know it, we're carrying dead weight that's holding us back. Growth demands pruning. You have to let go of what no longer aligns with where you're going, even if it's painful, even if they meant something once. You're not being cruel. You're being clear. You're choosing alignment over attachment. But while some people need to be released, others need to be prioritized. Too often we get busy and let our most important relationships drift. We take people for granted. We assume they'll always be there. But relationships are like gardens. They only flourish when tended to with care, presence, and time. A strong relationship doesn't happen by accident. It's built with consistency, forgiveness, communication, and shared value. It's checking in, not just checking out. It's being fully present, not just physically, but emotionally. Also, improving your relationships means improving how you show up in them. Are you dependable? Are you honest? Are you encouraging others the way you wish they would encourage you? You can't ask for loyalty if you're not loyal. You can't expect depth if you only offer surface. Relationships are mirrors. They often reflect what we give. So start becoming the kind of person you want around you. Set the tone. Lead by example. Speak life into the people you care about. And let's not forget the relationship you have with yourself, because how you treat you sets the standard for how others will. If you constantly criticize yourself, you'll tolerate criticism from others. If you don't value your own worth, you'll settle for people who don't either. Improving your relationship with yourself is the foundation for building healthy relationships with everyone else. Learn to honor your boundaries, respect your time, speak to yourself with grace, and believe in your value, even when no one else does. At the end of your life, you won't remember the money, the titles, or the trophies. You'll remember the people, the conversations that lifted you, the moments that healed you, the ones who stayed when life got hard. That's the real wealth. Strong, deep, meaningful relationships. So choose wisely, invest intentionally, Communicate openly, walk away when necessary, show up when it matters, and every single day, work on becoming better in your relationships. Because who you do life with will either strengthen your purpose or sabotage it. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever possess. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But once time is gone, it never returns. Every second is a seed. What you do with your time today determines the harvest you'll see tomorrow. That's why improving your time management isn't just a skill, it's a survival strategy for anyone who wants to live with purpose. Every day, you're given the same 24 hours as the most successful people in the world. The difference isn't in how much time you have, but in how you use the time you're given. Some people drift through the day reacting to everything, scrolling, delaying, saying yes to distractions that don't serve them. Others approach each day with intention, with focus, with clarity. They know where their time is going because they tell it where to go. If you don't manage your time, someone else will. Your time will be hijacked by things that look urgent but are completely unimportant. You'll be pulled in 100 directions and end the day exhausted but unaccomplished. That's the trap of poor time management. Busy but not productive. Active but not aligned. Improvement begins the moment you realize your time is not free, it's an investment. So treat it like one. Improving your time management requires you to get honest with your priorities. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves a yes. And not every task needs to be done by you. The more you value your time, the more selective you become with where it goes. Greatness demands focus, and focus demands saying no to what doesn't move you forward. Every distraction has a cost, and often that cost is your dreams. Start planning your day with intention. Don't just let the day happen to you. Decide in advance what matters. Block out time for it. Protect that time like it's sacred, because it is. That time is your future calling. It's your potential waiting to be developed. It's your purpose in progress. Build habits around your most productive hours. Create routines that support your goals, not sabotage them. Eliminate the noise. Guard your mornings. Use your evenings to reflect, not escape. Improving your time management also means respecting other people's time. Show up when you say you will. End meetings when they're supposed to end. Don't waste people's minutes with meaningless talk or half-hearted effort. Time is life. When you respect time, you're respecting life itself, yours and others. One of the biggest lies we believe is that there's still time. The truth is, we don't know how much we have left. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. So stop putting off what matters. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Use what you have now. Take action now. Discipline your days now. Because if you win the battle over your time, you'll win in every other area of life. Your health, your relationships, your finances, your mind, they all respond to how well you manage your time. The people who change the world aren't the ones with the most talent or resources. They're the ones who mastered their minutes. So rise above procrastination. Break up with excuses. Set your schedule, stick to it. Adjust when necessary, but never drift. Take your time seriously. Because how you manage your time is how you manage your life. The truth is, you don't need to change the world in a day. You just need to improve in these 6 areas. Every single. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Your greatness isn't a destination, it's a decision. And that decision starts right now. There's a reason the most successful people in the world work in silence. Look around you. Most of the noise comes from those who haven't built anything yet. The strongest trees grow their roots deep underground before they ever break the surface. If you want to become unstoppable, if you're tired of feeling overlooked, and if you're ready to grow beyond what people expect of you, then this is the message you can't afford to miss. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear could quietly change the entire course of your life. In a world where everyone feels the need to broadcast their every move, there's an unmatched power in choosing silence. When you're building something meaningful, whether it's a business, a dream, a skill, or a new version of yourself, resisting the urge to speak too soon is a discipline that few truly understand. Most people want recognition before they've done the work. They crave applause without delivering results. But silence is sacred. Silence is where transformation begins. The most powerful seasons of your life won't be the ones you announce. They'll be the ones you endure. The seasons where no one knows the battles you're fighting, the long nights you're grinding through, or the weight you're carrying. And that's exactly how it should be. Because when you talk too early, you invite opinions that can poison your process. You give people access to a journey they were never meant to be part of. Some will doubt you, others will discourage you, and even those who love you may not understand you. That's why silence is your shield. It protects the process. It gives your growth time to deepen its roots before it faces the wind. There's a kind of strength that's forged only in quiet places. When no one is clapping for you, when no one is checking in, when no one is watching, that's where your real power is built. You learn to show up for yourself. You learn to find motivation from within. And when the time comes to emerge, you're not just stepping into the light with noise. You're stepping in with undeniable evidence. Let your progress be the loudest thing about you. Let people wonder how you did it. Let them be shocked by what you became while you were silent. Because when the noise fades, when the distractions stop, and when you're left alone with your purpose, that's where clarity is born. That's where strength is refined. That's where destiny is activated. Never underestimate the power of building in silence. Speak less, do more, move quietly, and when it's time, let your results introduce you. The real work, the kind that transforms you, is done when no one is watching. It happens behind the scenes, in silence, without recognition, without praise. That's where growth is forged. While many wait to be seen before they act, the truly committed act without needing to be seen. They show up day in and day out, even when no one claps, when no one says thank you, and when no one is keeping score. Because they're not working for attention. They're working for mastery. They're not seeking validation. They're pursuing excellence. It's easy to be motivated when the lights are on and the audience is watching. But real strength is built in the quiet hours, in the lonely places, in the disciplined decisions made when no one else is around. The early mornings when it would be easier to sleep. The late nights when your body is tired, but your purpose is louder. These are the moments that separate the average from the exceptional. These moments don't post well on social media. They don't draw applause, but they build character, endurance, and unshakable confidence. When you train yourself to be consistent in private, you create a foundation that can't be shaken in public. You stop performing for others and start performing for yourself. You stop looking for someone to keep you accountable and start holding yourself accountable. That's when the shift happens. That's when your discipline becomes your identity. Because it's not about doing big things once. It's about doing the right things consistently, especially when they're inconvenient and unnoticed. And here's the truth. One day, the world will see the results of the work you did when they weren't looking. One day, the discipline, the sacrifice, and the quiet commitment will speak for itself. You won't have to explain yourself. You won't have to convince anyone. The fruit of your private grind will be undeniable. So keep going when it's hard. Keep pushing when it's quiet. Keep working when no one's watching. Because that's where you're being built. That's where the foundation of greatness is laid. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not in noise, but in silence. Not for the world, but for the future version of you that's waiting to rise. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's everything. Without discipline, dreams remain fantasies. Without discipline, potential stays locked away. Discipline is what keeps you going long after the excitement has faded. It's the quiet force that pushes you to wake up early when you don't feel like it, to keep studying when your mind is tired, to train when your body wants to rest. It's doing what needs to be done even when no one is making you do it. The truth is, emotion can't be trusted. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline, that's solid. Discipline is a decision, not a feeling. When you build your life around discipline, you no longer need to rely on moods or inspiration. You operate from commitment, not convenience. You stop negotiating with yourself. You don't ask, do I feel like it today? You say, it's time to show up. You become your own authority, your own coach, your own driving force. That's when real change begins to take root. Greatness doesn't belong to the most talented or the most gifted. It belongs to the most disciplined. The people who win are not always the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. They are the ones who are consistent, the ones who do the boring work daily, the ones who show up whether they feel like it or not. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Over time, your small daily discipline choices will stack up and shape a life you're proud of. And here's the power of discipline. It doesn't just change your habits, it changes your identity. You start seeing yourself differently. You begin to trust yourself. You know that if you say you'll do something, you'll follow through. That kind of trust is rare. That kind of integrity is priceless. Discipline is not about restriction. It's about alignment. It brings your actions in line with your vision. And when your habits match your goals, everything starts to shift. So, don't chase motivation. Build discipline. Build it slowly. Build it daily. And build it in silence. Because the life you want isn't found in one big leap. It's built one disciplined step at a time. The most significant growth you experience in life comes from pushing past your comfort zones. Comfort may feel safe, but it also holds you back from realizing your full potential. If you want to build something truly remarkable, you have to be willing to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to challenge yourself in ways that feel uncomfortable at first. It's in those moments of discomfort that transformation happens. When you face your fears, when you tackle challenges head on, you discover strengths you never knew existed. You unlock parts of yourself that would have stayed dormant if you had played it safe. We often avoid discomfort because it's painful or it challenges the way we think about our limits. But that discomfort is the exact thing that forces you to grow. Without it, you remain stagnant, stuck in the same patterns and routines. When you push yourself past your comfort zone, you begin to expand your boundaries. What once seemed impossible now becomes a challenge you are equipped to face. It's not about being fearless, it's about being willing to act in the face of fear. It's about understanding that growth lies just beyond the threshold of what's comfortable. The fear of failure often holds people back from taking those necessary steps outside their comfort zone. But failure is not the enemy, it's the teacher. Every setback, every mistake, and every challenge is an opportunity to learn and improve. The key is not avoiding failure, but learning how to navigate it, how to use it as fuel for growth. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail, they're the ones who get back up every time they do. They understand that comfort zones are where dreams go to die. So they make the conscious decision to stretch beyond them, to take on challenges that push them to evolve. The real magic happens when you stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it as a sign of progress. When you learn to thrive in the face of uncertainty, you become unstoppable. Your self-confidence grows, and so does your ability to handle greater challenges. The discomfort you once feared will no longer hold you back. It will propel you forward. The more you embrace it, the more you will discover the immense power you have within you. And the more you grow, the more your potential expands. Success is never about instant gratification or shortcuts. It's about building a solid foundation and staying committed even when the results are not immediate. Most people want the rewards without putting in the work, and they expect success to come quickly, but real success is built over time. It's not a one-time event, but a series of consistent, dedicated actions. It's about showing up every single day, whether or not you feel like it, and doing what needs to be done, no matter how difficult or boring it may seem. The people who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the most brilliant, but the ones who commit to the journey, even when it seems hard. They are the ones who understand that every single small effort compounds over time. The seemingly insignificant choices made today will pay off down the road. Every sacrifice, every small decision to keep pushing forward contributes to the bigger picture. Success is the sum of all those moments when you choose to stay the course, even when you can't see the immediate results. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but what separates the successful from the rest is the ability to stay committed when things get tough. The true measure of success is not how many times you win, but how many times you get up after you've fallen. It's about persistence, grit, and resilience. Success is the result of perseverance, being able to push through the challenges, the failures, and the obstacles that will inevitably come your way. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They get discouraged when they don't hit their target right away, and they let setbacks define them. But it's the ones who refuse to quit, who keep pushing even when progress seems slow, who eventually achieve greatness. They understand that it's the long haul that counts, and they embrace the journey, no matter how winding or unpredictable it may be. These are the people who understand that the price of success is patience and hard work. They don't expect to become successful overnight. They know that lasting success takes time, and they are willing to put in the work day after day for years if necessary. In a world of instant gratification and fast results, we are constantly tempted to take the shortcut or look for the easy way out. But true fulfillment comes from the journey itself, not just the destination. The most successful people are the ones who have learned to appreciate the process, who find joy in the grind, and who are committed to seeing their efforts through to the end, no matter how long it takes. They understand that success is not a destination, it's a lifelong pursuit. It's the dedication to constantly improving, to getting up every time you fall, and to never giving up on your dreams, no matter how long it takes to achieve them. The problem with shortcuts is that they don't build long-lasting results. Quick fixes might provide temporary success, but they often lack the depth and sustainability needed for true achievement. The foundation of long-term success is built on doing the hard work over and over again in small, manageable steps. This process requires patience and a mindset that values effort over immediate rewards. In time, those small efforts accumulate into something much bigger than you ever imagined. The process is what gives success meaning. It is what strengthens your character and builds resilience. It's what teaches you the skills and mindset needed to navigate challenges along the way. While others may be looking for shortcuts, the successful are focused on long-term growth. They understand that time and consistent effort are their most powerful tools. Every small effort they make is an investment in their future. The more time you put into something, the more you learn, the more you grow, and the more you're able to handle. Success is not just about the finish line. It's about the journey and how you show up day after day for yourself and for your dreams. So stay the course. Don't get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. The work you're putting in now is shaping your future, and eventually all the time, effort, and sacrifice will pay off in ways you could never have imagined. Trust the process. Embrace the grind. Because true success isn't found in shortcuts. It's found in the commitment to keep going, no matter how long it takes. The journey to becoming the best version of yourself doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that takes time, effort, and most importantly, patience. Many people want quick results. They want to see transformation within days or weeks. But real growth happens gradually. Building yourself requires consistency, a willingness to improve, and a deep belief that you can always be better than you were yesterday. It's about pushing through the inevitable obstacles, overcoming your inner doubts, and continuing to move forward even when the progress seems slow. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is commit to daily improvement. Whether it's learning something new, refining a skill, or working on your mindset, small, consistent actions will compound over time to create monumental results. The key is not to get overwhelmed by the bigger picture, but to focus on the small steps. Day by day, you chip away at the person you want to become. Every little effort adds up, even if it feels insignificant in the moment. It's the daily grind, the seemingly mundane and routine actions that shape who you are and who you are becoming. This journey isn't always easy. There will be moments of frustration, moments when you feel like you're not making progress, or when you doubt whether the effort is worth it. But this is exactly where growth happens. When things get tough, and when it feels like progress is stalled, that's when you need to dig deeper. Because what separates those who succeed from those who give up is their ability to persevere when the road gets hard. The key to success is the willingness to keep going, even when the results aren't immediately visible. People often get caught up in the idea of instant success. They look at others who have seemingly made it and wonder why they can't get there as quickly. But the truth is, everyone's journey is different. Some people take longer to reach their potential, while others seem to soar effortlessly. The most important thing is not to compare your progress to others. Focus on your own journey and trust that the work you're putting in will pay off. Your growth is a personal process, and it's important to be patient with yourself. A big part of building yourself is learning to be consistent in the face of challenges. Whether it's getting up earlier, working out when you don't feel like it, or putting in the effort to improve a skill, consistency is what will ultimately make the difference. There will be days when you feel like quitting. There will be moments when you're tempted to take shortcuts or give in to distractions. But it's in these moments that your true character is revealed. Success is not about perfection. It's about perseverance and the ability to keep showing up. It's about sticking with your commitments and not letting temporary setbacks derail your progress. Another essential aspect of building yourself quietly is the ability to stay focused on your goals. The world is full of distractions, social media, the opinions of others, and the constant pressure to be busy. But real growth comes from tuning out the noise and focusing on what truly matters. When you commit to your personal development, you start to prioritize the things that move you closer to your goals. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve you, and you start dedicating yourself to activities that align with your vision. The journey to becoming the best version of yourself is not about achieving perfection, but about making progress. It's about consistently showing up and doing the work, even when the results aren't immediate. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. The small steps you take today will accumulate into massive growth over time. So be patient with yourself, trust the process, and know that every bit of effort is a step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. You are building something great, and every effort you make today is shaping the future you desire.